How you doing? Duff here, ready for another amateur mechanic session. That's my 2005 Chevy SSR. Today's project is to flush the coolant. I bought this truck back in September of 2011. I haven't flushed the coolant yet. I probably should have, since I have no idea if the original owner ever did it. Because if it's not, the original coolant is 7 years old, which is too old. Not a lot of tools needed for this job. I have my Prestone 50/50 pre-diluted Dex-cool coolant. There's been some talk about Dex-cool isn't the best thing to use in a vehicle. More research I've done, I've found more people say that that might have been a case with older vehicles when Dex-cool was first introduced. General consensus is now Dex-cool is fine to put back in your system. That's what I'm going to do. And also I have several gallons of distilled water. That's what I'm going to be using to do the flush. It's very important that you use distilled water when you're flushing your vehicle, not tap water or out of a garden hose. Doing that, especially in an engine like this, can introduce contaminants into the cooling system, which can cause all kinds of problems down the road. So you always want to make sure that you're flushing with distilled water. Distilled. Alright, so I'm going to pop the hood, get underneath there, have it up on on ramps, just to give me some height, since there's not a whole lot of height under there normally. And I'm going to open the radiator and start draining. The Corvette motor that's in the SSR, it's a closed system. It doesn't, if you look at the radiator, there's no conventional radiator cap. You know, so all fluid's going to have to be entered through the, or added through the reservoir tank, which I'll be doing. Okay, I'm now laying underneath the vehicle. Looks like the drain plug for the radiator is on the passenger side, lower corner of the radiator, this thing, I assume. So I'm going to back that out and let it drain. I put the catch pan under there. Didn't do much good once the plug was out. It just kind of sprayed everywhere, so. So it's still draining. Basically the procedure I saw on the forums for this is you drain the system, you fill it with distilled water, turn the truck on, let it get up to operating temperature with the heater on, turn the heater up to full so you're circulating through the heater coil, or yeah, the heater coil as well, to flush that out. And just repeat that procedure several times, let it get up to temperature, drain it, refill it with distilled water. Same thing, heat it up, drain it, and then you're ready to add your 50/50 dilution solution. So that's the plan. The stuff that's coming out seems a little more watery than I would expect. Seems like it's a little heavy on the water part of the mix. But since this is the first time I've done it, I wouldn't know for sure, but just observation. Okay, finished with the first drain sequence. Now I'm going to be adding distilled water. Okay, just added distilled water. Have the heat control set to max heat, so the water is circulated through the heater core, not the heater coil. Like I said before, it's actually called the heater core. So, whatever I was thinking. So I'm going to let it run here, let it get up to operating temperature of approximately 210 degrees. Turn it off, let it cool a little bit, and then repeat the sequence again. I'll go through flushing it with distilled water twice, and then I'll re-add the coolant. Yeah, it's weird. Normally this thing gets up to 210 in no time at all. I guess it's because I have the heat running. But yeah, it went up to I don't know, what's that, 175 or so. It's been sticking there. It's starting to move a little bit now. So I'll give it another couple minutes. Here's my new spare wheel. Got it for 50 bucks off of SSR Fanatics. I thought it was a heck of a deal. Plus shipping, of course. Well, at this point, we've been running almost 10 minutes. It's damn close to 90 degrees outside, and still haven't got the temperature to 210. So I'm going to call that as good and drain it and repeat. What you're looking for is each successive flush that the fluid coming out is more and more clear, more just pure water. It's still pretty pinkish at this point. Alright, I'm in flush cycle 2 here. Again, filling this distilled water after draining the system. I also just happen to be on cycle 2 of Miller Lite. Okay, I must be getting more of the coolant out because it ran hotter that time. Got it up slightly over 210. So I'm going to drain and fill it again with water. Okay, it's looking a lot more clear now. I think one more cycle and I'll be good. Alright, I'm on my final drain. It's looking almost like pure water now, which is what I want. What I don't want is the rain that is starting to fall on me right now. But what can you do? And because the truck is currently out of coolant, I can't start it up and move it, so oh well. We're currently in a rain delay. Okay, rain stopped. I'm done draining the coolant for the third time, or actually the water for the third time. I'm now going to be adding my my Dex-cool mixture. Alright, I filled the reservoir up. Now I'm going to start it with the cap off. What I read, this is a way to kind of burp the system, let air escape if there's any air trapped in the system. Let it run a little bit, get up to temperature, and then more than likely I'll have to add some more coolant. Okay, I took the SSR out for a quick test drive, and temperature stayed good, but I don't know if you can see that or not, but the reservoir tank is now empty again. You know, I'm sure some air escaped from the system. So I'm going to add some more to it, just to the fill line, and then I'll be keeping my eye on it from here on out just to make sure that the levels stabilizes after I drive it a few times. But that's basically it. I would call my coolant flush and change complete at this point. How correct it was, I'll let the experts say. Duffman out.